If you're tired of dense, flavorless cheesecakes or have no idea how to bake one at home with a perfectly smooth top, then you're going to love this video. Hey, today we're making this amazing cloud-like confection that is so easy and just beyond delicious. Let's get started. First off, we're making a super easy graham cracker crust, and if you don't have graham crackers around, you can basically use any cookie you like, Oreos, sure, digestive biscuits, yes, everything works. All cookies, really. Okay, so I'm gonna use about 16 to 18 of these crackers. It's kind of up to you. How thick do you want the crust? Look, you've toasted pecans and always toast your pecans. It's so important to use toasted nuts when you bake. It makes a huge difference. They're very fragrant. 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. You can lower this if you want. Like, you don't have to use any sugar if you're using some sweet cookies. But graham crackers are just kind of like a little sweet, right? So we're going to pulse this up. And you want to have fine crumbs, basically. Once you have a nice crumbly mixture, we're going to drizzle in some melted butter. Go for about 5 tablespoons. You can kind of eyeball though. The butter is a binding agent, so if you don't need more, you don't have to add it. But if your mixture is dry, add a little bit more. Alright, so take a little bit of a mixture with your spoon, and if you can push it together and forms a little ball, you know that's about right. I don't need to add more butter to this, but you could if you love butter. And by the way, you don't have to use a food processor. You could just crunch these up in a bag, chop the pecans really finely, and then mix with melted butter by hand, and you go. And we're going to use a cup, you can use a tall glass, just move it out toward the edges, and the key is to get it up high. If you want to press the sides in, get a nice vertical glass and just press. If it spills over a bit, just use your thumb to guide and hold it down. My crust is almost ready, but the last part is you're going to go one more time around the edge, and this time you're going to press the top down with your thumb a little bit more to help compact it. Otherwise, it'll be really crummy on top, which is fine, but you'll get crumbs on the top of your cake. And if you're super paranoid and forgetful, just toss it into the fridge and skip the bake. Better than a burnt crust. We're going to need 4.5 packages or 36 ounces of cream cheese. So that's the 4-ounce package after package. And this is totally and completely room temperature cream cheese. If you're using cold cream cheese, it's much more likely to be kind of lumpy and just not mixed in totally for your cheesecake. Alright, let's give this a whip. I'm going to add in 1 3/4 cups of sugar now. You can reduce the sugar a bit if you want. You could totally take out 1/2 cup, but the cheesecake is very tiny and the sugar is nice balance, and this is a big cheesecake. It's not at all done, but I'm going to scrape the bowl down because there's a lot of unmixed nonsense on the side. And then let's just whip this up until it's completely mixed in. Okay, mix it up. Now is a good time as any to add in 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a little bit more balance. All mixed up nice and smooth, and now it's time for 3/4 cup of sour cream. This stuff is so good and one of my favorite things to eat. There's a lot of questions I get about substitutions, and if you're using this for most cakes, you can use a full fat yogurt, a little bit more tangy but very similar moisture content. Now it's time to mix this in along with 2 tablespoons or even a little bit more of a nice vanilla extract. Now I'm going to start sprinkling in some flour, just a little bit to bind it together. How much, you ask? 3 tablespoons. It's not nice to get clumps of flour, so you want to add it in gradually. We can go back to mixing and adding the eggs and yolks one at a time. Instantly becomes so much silkier. It's kind of amazing. More glossy loosens the texture up. That's a lot of cheesecake batter because we're making a big cheesecake. This is the consistency you want. Smooth, wonderful, loose, glossy batter, Last mix. Go get your crust and let's fill it up. I'm ready to pour my smooth as silk batter into my prepared crust. I was just being me. I'm going to bake this on a baking sheet so I don't have to worry about grabbing the cake, kind of manhandling it. It's not going to drip or anything, but it's just so much easier to take it in and out and not kind of mar the crust of the surface. Trust me, I've been there, right? This is going into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for just 10 minutes, and we're going to turn it down to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for an additional 40 minutes. If you want to go a really quick and easy route that looks crazy beautiful and tastes pretty good too, the canned cherry fillings at your supermarket. Some brands are actually pretty good, so just pour a little bit on top and enjoy. If you like my videos, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.